Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the It's not the F1 word. I knew I was going to do it. I had it in my head all day that I wouldn't, and I did. We're not on the F1 word. We're on Formula Sean. Oh, well, I'm off back to bed. That right away, didn't I? Anyway, how are we all doing this fine Friday evening here in the UK on Formula Sean? I hope you're all having a good one. It is the end of the week. I know some people work weekends, but I imagine some of you also don't work weekends, so you're very excited about the fact you got 2 days off. And it's a sprint weekend, so lots of action. Live today, obviously, for the sprint quali watch along. Live tomorrow for the sprint race. Then the Grand Prix qualifying watch along, and then maybe the race watch along over on the F1 word. Depends how I feel on Sunday morning on that one, but we'll see if we've got a voice left. Yeah, great start, I know, right? Let's do some shout outs in chat. I have a question to ask RC very quickly, actually, saying that I was supposed to start at 6 and I set it off early. I set it off early for the countdown, but RC said I was going to put a film on. Now I'm going to have to watch this. What film were you watching in 6 minutes, RC? I really want to know. It sounds great. But yes, it was. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's Brazil as well. It's my favourite race of the year, so I can't really not be excited. It's my favourite one. Make sure you share the stream out as well. Let people know that we're live. Just a reminder, as always, with these early stages on this new channel, we've had a great start over the last 2 weeks, so thank you for your support. But it's all very trial and error. If these don't work, we won't bother with this for Qatar. We'll just do the sprint, and if that doesn't work, we'll just do quali and so on and so forth. So we've got a couple of months to try things out, and that's what I'm kind of looking forward to. And I know it's a bit of an awkward time on a Friday evening because some people haven't finished work yet or on a commute. So if you're listening in the car, I'll try not to completely screw everything up like I did at the start there. Hey to RC, hey to Clansome, hello to Pascal. Says good evening, Sean and chat. How are you all doing? I am so hyped for this weekend. Bortoletto's home Grand Prix as well, of course, down at Sauber. Yes, very excited for very excited for Brazil, but is Ted Kravitz hosting this weekend? Because there's no Simon Lazenby there. Interesting. I'm eating sourdough pizza, says RC. Hey, RC, mate. Hey to Red Raven, says good evening, gents and ladies, of course. Hey to Ewan, who says Formula 1 needs a good South American driver. I think Bortoletto's doing all right. Dave says, hey, Dave. Hope you're all right, mate. Hey to Lauren, who is impressed with the introduction. He's still at work as well, so hopefully not too long left for you yet, Lauren. Hopefully. Hey to Kevin as well. Yeah. It's all gone wrong. And Sean needs a teleprompter, says Kevin. Why do I need I do need a teleprompter for now. What, just while I'm getting used to this, and just have the I've got a whiteboard down there I can put on the wall there that just says Formula Sean, so I don't mess it up. It was inevitable, but at least it only took till now. So, Max is very excited to the Sky satellite picked up last night, so I'm now trying to use Sky Go, which is a fate worse than death. Yeah, it's slow, isn't it? Is it still 720p as well, which is very exciting. So we'll run through the hey to Guarav. I'm just going to go through the order now from practice, so don't worry, we'll get into that in just a second. That's not the official times. The session starts in about 27 minutes ish, so we've got a few minutes yet to have a chat. We've got to talk about Colapinto's extension. Some talk about rule changes potentially for next year on top of all the rule changes we've already got, so we'll talk about that if we get a chance, and of course to take your questions throughout. It will be a shorter stream tonight with it being a shorter session, but don't worry, if you've got a question that I don't get to today, I'm live tomorrow twice and Sunday over on the other channel, or as Kevin's calling it, the other place, which makes it sound like the upside down. Lando Norris was fastest in FP1, or I say practice one. There was no second, or there won't be any second practice. It's straight into sprints, of course. 200ths between the two McLaren drivers. Oscar Piastri seemingly back on form. I wouldn't sit here and declare that he's back right away, but I will say that's closer than he seemed to get at any point during the Mexico weekend, so progress. A mere 6/10 further back in third place was Nico Hulkenberg, with Fernando Alonso in fourth and Gabriel Bortoletto fifth, George Russell sixth, Pierre Gasly 7th, Carlos Sainz in 8th, Isaac Hadjar 9th, and Kimi Antonelli in 10th place. 11th for Liam Lawson, 12th for Alex Albon, 13th for Esteban Ocon, 14th for Ollie Bearman, 15th for Lance Stroll, 16th for Franco Colapinto, 17th for Verstappen, 18th Leclerc, 19th Hamilton, Tsunoda 20th. Looking at that order, you could probably already tell I wouldn't really pay much attention to anything from third down too much. This does look like a McLaren weekend, but it is still dry. Let's see what happens if the rain comes. Verstappen didn't do any a proper one-lap run. He was very much hard tyres throughout, so we've not seen what he can do on the medium, so I would ignore that, wouldn't read too much into it. I think Leclerc was the same, I believe. Lewis Hamilton had a couple of moments. He didn't run the mediums. In fact, I can take the tyres for you if you want. Hamilton ran hard, Leclerc ran hard. Verstappen did run a soft for 2 laps, but didn't really do anything with it, maybe just bedding that in a little bit, but hard tyres otherwise, so ignore those times. Tsunoda, actually, bit of a rough session, had an off at turn 5, technically, I believe. On the exit of turn 5, lost the car, tagged the barrier with the front left and the rear left, but was all okay, or rear right, so was all okay. Had to sit in the garage for a few minor repairs, but did get back out, which is the important thing, especially on a sprint weekend. But he only did 16 laps compared to his teammates' 29. That's the wrong thing, Sean. I'll say that again. I didn't mean that at all. I haven't got the lap count up. I lied to you. I'm sorry. I lied. So did 20 laps to his teammates 31. That's what I was trying to say. So there we go. It's a bit of a weird session, almost typical of a sprint in that it gives us some information, which is that a bit like Zandvoort, McLaren seem to be in a class of their own at this stage of the weekend, but doesn't tell us a lot else because a lot of the other drivers were not really running the same strategies or run plans. What's interesting is that a few teams, including Ferrari and Red Bull, have saved a set of mediums for later in the weekend, so maybe they're suspecting tomorrow won't be as wet as the BBC forecast says it's going to be. The Met Office said it should be dry. The one that you get when you just Google the track and weather, whatever that's called, they say it's going to be dry. The BBC say it's going to pee it down all day tomorrow. There is concern about a tropical typhoon or storm in the area, or subtropical, I can't remember what the phrasing was, which is expected to hit overnight with gusts up to 100 kilometres an hour of wind and heavy rain. I think up to 60 millimetres an hour is possible. So there is some talk that maybe if that does shift a little bit and roll into things tomorrow, it may well be that the sprint and qualifying have to get shuffled back. Of course, we've had many times before in Japan, actually, is a great example from a few years ago, having to move qualifying into Sunday morning to get it done because otherwise, you can have all sorts of trouble setting the grid. So difficult because you've got 2 big sessions tomorrow, but just keep an eye on that. Things may have to shift around, but again, it depends where you look at your forecast. Some are saying it's going to be horrific. Some are saying it's going to rain all day. Some are saying it's going to be bone dry. We'll find out when we wake up tomorrow, I suppose. So, yes. That's pretty much it, really. Kevin says 720p is like me taking my glasses off. Yeah. Right. That's how I see most things when I've not got these on. They're only reading glasses. I think I need full-time glasses, as I like to call them, really, but I will get down to Specsavers or whatever one day, but an optician, I suppose. Also, considering this is Formula Sean and we can swear, the fuck is the rain? Where is it? ? Says RC. I don't think it was ever supposed to hit today, really. It's tomorrow that's the big threat. But yeah, so that's where we are at the minute of the weekend. They are your one and only practice session times. It's one of the good things. I know a lot of you don't like sprints. Some of you do, some don't. But one of the good things about sprints is that we do go straight into the action. So there's very little time to sort things out. Actually, on that note, it seems like a fitting time to squeeze this in, almost a segue, you could say. Talk next year of extending or having the option to extend practice sessions by up to 15 minutes on sprint weekends next year to sort of offset the loss from red flags. What will happen is if the session gets red flagged, then the timer will start, if you like, and they will add up that time, and then at the end of the session, they'll add that on, like extra time in football, up to 15 minutes, which is to help teams get run plans done, which from a team perspective, I kind of understand. From a fan perspective, I'd rather they didn't, because part of the beauty of sprint weekends is that it's utter chaos if you don't get your laps in practice. But to be fair, it does compromise your weekend right from the off, doesn't it? And it's very difficult to catch up from that point. So I understand why teams want it, but I still think we'd be fine with one Friday practice session every weekend of 90 minutes, to be honest. I don't think we need any more than that, but there you go. That's just me. We'll see. We'll see. Extra tropical cyclone. That's it. Thank you, the Hat Rust. That's what I was trying to think of. It sounds very exciting, doesn't it? Extra tropical cyclone. Where does that rank on the list of cyclones? Is that somewhere in the middle? Is it up the top? Is it? I don't know. There you go. But that's where things are for next season. Other rule changes. extending Q1 and Q2 because we're going to have extra cars next year with Cadillac, but it's not going to change the length of qualifying because they'll just take it out of the 7 minutes or 8 minutes in between sessions. So Q1 might be 20 minutes instead of 18, Q2 might be 18 minutes instead of 15, and then I'll just take that out of the break in between. Thing is, though, right, I get it. I understand the idea behind it. I get why they want to do that. Don't want all this clogging up in the pit lane. It doesn't matter if Q1 is 20 minutes long, 2 hours long, or 30 seconds long. Everyone's going to leave it to the last minute anyway. So all you're doing is you're prolonging the inevitable. But we'll see what happens. That's all got to be discussed over the winter, along with a mandated, if you like, race length, which will be set at X amount of time so that we don't have short races like Monza and long races like Singapore and it meets somewhere in the middle. We'll see what happens with that. I'm not going to get into that one now because it's confusing. I don't know why. Just leave it the fuck alone. It's fine. Just leave it. Stop. It's a bit like me a couple of years ago over on the F1 Word, changing channel colours and thumbnails left, right, and centre because that's what people care about. Make sure your product's good and then worry about what it looks like around it. So, but there you go. Let's not start short off on a rant on that one. There was something else as well. Qatar, just to let you know if you haven't seen the reports. I think it came from AM US over in Germany. Talk of mandated stint lengths again this year in Qatar, just because they're concerned about the tyres. So that'll make for a thriller again, knowing when everyone's going to pit. But there you go. Let's take some of your comments and questions, then we'll get on to Collar Pinto. Pascal says today is 15 years ago since Nico Hulkenberg took his only pole so far. Yes. Isn't it 10 years since Red Bull took their first constructors as well? I'm old. The years are flying by. It's terrifying. I take it in Q1, 6 cars will get 60 will get through to Q2. Yeah, so 6 out in Q1, 6 out in Q2. Red Raven. That's the plan. That's the plan. Dave the Fisher sounds like a 90s punk band. Hello, Barnsley. We're extra tropical cyclone. Are you ready to rock? I could have done that so much. I could have done that better. I've let you down. Dave. I really, really have. Hey, Jonty says, did you know that Interlagos means between the lakes? Also, hi. Yes, have we heard that yet this weekend? Is that on your Martin Brundle bingo card? That's going to be hilarious. If the same number of cars reach Q2 and Q3, their session length shouldn't be extended, says Nilesh. We don't see enough of the Lagos, to be honest, about the lakes there as well. I think it would have been absolutely fine. Would have been fine. And Kevin says, oh my gosh, my ears. What's up with your ears, Kevin? Is it what I was saying, or did I scream at you for no reason? Probably that. I will say as well, really shameless plug, and I'm not even slightly embarrassed to do it. I was asked by a couple of people last week, or the week before on stream, about Patreon. I have set it up, link in the description. I've put it at about, I think it works out when all deductions and that are taken at the same price as YouTube membership, if and when we activate this on this channel. What that will get you is your name at the end of the video, and I'm talking to the guys on Discord. We're going to reshape the server, make it all nice and organised, possibly. That's my OCD kicking in, and then we'll make that a perk as well for Patreon, so you'll get back into the Discord server if you're not already in there. I know most of you will be. I recognise quite a lot of names here, but if you are interested in supporting the channel over on Patreon, you can do, or you can do so by buymeacoffee.com. Links in the description for those. I'm waiting for the channel to be monetized, is what I'm saying. So I want to make sure we can keep doing this well into next year and beyond. So, but it's a fun, relaxed couple of months ahead. There's no pressure. We get there when we get there, but great start these last 2 weeks. So you're all legends, and thank you very much. So any support is massively appreciated, but never expected. I'd never lock content permanently behind a paywall. I wouldn't do that. So if you want to, fantastic. If you don't, no pressure at all. Wait, there's still an F1 Word Discourse. There is a different one. There was one that I set up, John T, for patrons only because it was easier to manage that, because I didn't get into the old one very often. I still don't get into this one very often, to be fair. But it just, the other one was a fustercluck in the end, wasn't it? So, when are you doing record and film review, says Gladsome. Yeah, what film should we review? We'll do some film reviews over the winter. Some F1 films. I tell you what, that's a jaunty one. Really awesome motorsport films and terrible motorsport films. We'll sit and talk about them. Maybe that's your Christmas stream. Who knows? Christmas motorsport films. Yeah. Navipant says, hi, is this the right place for the Stoffel fan club? Absolutely, the one and only, mate. The one and only. Welcome. Hope you well. Oh, my swearing hurt your ears. Sorry, Kevin. Sorry. Oh, I'll try not to do that shit again. Oh, no. Oh, Kevin. Sorry. I hope it comes across, by the way. I'm instantly more relaxed over here. But anyway, because we could just have a laugh. We could just have fun. That's the whole point of these, after all. Franco Colapinto, that's what we're going to talk about, weren't we? Franco is staying for 2026. I was going to say conflicting reports out there, but what I mean is some are correct and some are wrong, talking about that he's got a new deal. Colapinto does not have a new deal as far as I understand it. He signed a multi-year deal with Alpine last winter when he moved from Williams, so this is just them confirming that he will be in a race seat for next year alongside Pierre Gasly. But still, great news for him. It's a little bit surprising in some ways because, as I'm sure many of you will point out in chat, and it's not a dig at Franco at all. He's not the one that made the decision to drop the drivers. I don't think he's been astronomically better than Jack Doohan. But also, Franco didn't get a pre-season in that car, and the car is absolute dog shit. And so it's kind of difficult to judge him. So I'm basing it on how he's improved. And I think when you look at where he is now compared to where he was when he first got in that car this season, I think there is definite improvement there. And I think he's actually measuring quite well against Pierre Gasly. So if you're Alpine and your options are Franco Colapinto or Paul Aron, and you can see that Franco is moving in the right direction, is doing well up against Pierre Gasly, even if that doing well is in a battle for 16th and 17th place, that's all he can be measured against as his teammate. You can't measure Colapinto against Max Verstappen because that's just stupid. So you have to measure him against Pierre Gasly, and he's doing all right. So I think keeping him in that seat is fair, knowing that you're then going to get a full pre-season, brand new car, a power unit that's half decent in that Mercedes. I think it's the right call based on the options in front of them. And I am quite happy to see him stay because I think what Colapinto, to me at least, has always seemed to have raw speed. He's always been quick. It was just he couldn't put it together, and there were a lot of accidents and question marks over whether or not he could handle the pressure. And lots of questions. He was young and all of this business last year, but the speed was always there, and I still think he's got that speed. So I'm pleased that he's staying. I think it was probably the right decision based on the options in front of them, and it's important to remember just how important a pre-season is going to be for a young driver like Colapinto. You could argue the same for Jack Doohan. He didn't really hit the ground running, but then I don't think Jack Doohan was half as bad as perhaps people were saying. I think a lot of the reason that Jack Doohan isn't in that seat and Colapinto is because Flavio Briatore didn't want Jack Doohan, and Flavio came in after that announcement was made. So I think Jack Doohan, in fact, we said it over the winter lows, didn't we? Jack Doohan was done before it even started, bless him. So I don't think he did an awful lot wrong, but he didn't really do an awful lot right either. So I think good call for Colapinto to stay. If he's still, if we get to the middle of next season, the summer break maybe, and he's been diabolical, then they might look at making a change. But with the experience he's gained in that car, maybe learning a bit from Pierre Gasly, Flavio Briatore breathing down his neck, which is enough to make anybody quicker, I'd imagine. A pre-season as well, new regulations, new engine. He might really come alive next year. So also from a marketing point of view, if you're Alpine, then why on earth would you turn that sponsorship away and that fan base away? You just wouldn't. So he kind of ticks all the boxes for Alpine, I think. But yeah, there's not a lot to add to it. And again, I'm not going to judge him on, oh, well, he's finished 16th at 5 races in a row. I don't know if that is the stat. I'm sure it isn't. But that doesn't matter. Where was his teammate? Where was his teammate in qualifying? How much closer is he than he was 4 months ago or whatever? So, yeah, difficult. But no, I agree. Alpine didn't give Jack much of a chance, but I think he was on borrowed time the minute Flavio came in, because look, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was around this time last year, Jack was confirmed. And I think then Flavio came in and was sort of, maybe it was earlier than this time last year, but whenever Flavio came in, he wasn't exactly glowing, was he, in his assessment? So, yeah. Although I would joyfully do movie reviews with Sean, we could have a laugh, says John T. I've missed something there as part of the conversation, but yeah. It depends on the movie. If they're motorsport movies, I think it's fine. If we go into real movies, I don't know why I did that, but you know what I mean. It'd be interesting to see our difference in taste. If you know what I'm getting at, Jonty, that could be quite funny. Although I think I surprised you with my music taste when you visited. I think you were quite surprised by some of the things I was into. I think you thought it was going to be a hell of a lot cheesier than it was in some places, you know. Sum 41 and Blink 182 and stuff like that. So, but racing movies definitely. I'm not reviewing Oppenheimer. I've not got time for the stream. Hey Inca, I hope you're well. Hope you're having a good one, mate. Paint 2D says Alpine haven't scored points this season is more or less having scored points this season is more or less a miracle. It's I mean, when was that? Here we go. I said this the other week. Straight to Wikipedia. We are getting ready for the start of the session, by the way. 10 minutes away if you're just tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you're new as well, by the way, and drop a like on the stream. Greatly appreciated. It's all lit up over here now, so I've gone to Wikipedia, and I'm really zoomed in for some reason. I don't know why. I think I was trying to get rid of something, but there we go. So Alpine's last point score was Belgium. They scored a point in Belgium, did back-to-back as well. They got 6th place in... at Silverstone, but that was a bit of a wet weekend, wasn't it? So when did so Colapinto came in? I mean, he came in at Imola, so didn't he crash in practice as well, didn't he, in Imola? So he's been in a while. Let's look at his results versus Pierre Gasly. I mean, Gasly's not exactly been epic. He's done the best he can, but let's go from the last few races. That makes the most sense. So he's sort of in and around where Gasly's been for the most part, which is sort of 11th place at Zandvoort, is that as well? So that's a decent result in that car. It's so difficult. And I feel for both the Alpine drivers. I don't know how they are getting to the end of the season. All I can assume is that in the simulator it feels pretty good because it's not fun out on track, is it? But yeah. Anybody disappointed by the fact that Colapinto stayed, or doesn't it feels like somebody else who should have taken that seat other than him? I mean, I'm sure some might argue Paul Aaron, but that feels a bit like swings and roundabouts to me, honestly. I think if there was a massively experienced driver, available, if those rumours about Fernando Alonso a few months ago had come true, then maybe we're having a different conversation. But I don't really think it's the wrong decision. But Dave says indifferent. Yeah. Red Ravens disappointed with Alpine as a T, by assuming team. Yeah. And Hatprus was born with a heart full of neutrality. Oh, he's from Switzerland. The red UI is simply lovely. Thank you very much, Yinka. I assume you're talking about the stream. Yeah. Also, I've got some cool flags that I can switch on and off as well during the session. As Max Verstappen has a quick chat there too. Somebody I didn't see who it was, but Max looks pretty chill. McLaren looking good here. This could be the weekend. Either things really swing Max Verstappen's way, or it all falls apart for him. It is Brazil. He's got great form, so he could be. I feel like Max is going to be up there, whatever. But if it rains, I'd pick him over any McLaren driver, to be honest with you, in that kind of battle. Yeah. I am disappointed with an Alpine as a team is staying. Is what I wanted to say. Renault should sell to someone who cares. I couldn't agree more. An expression I hate because you either agree or you don't. But anyway, you know my point. I think you bang on. I said it when they pulled the Renault engine program. I thought, well, what? Probably before Cadillac, I felt it anyway, but Andretti could have bought Alpine. It could have been a deal done there. Renault could have supplied engines to them without any major F1 commitment, but I suppose if you're spending the money on engines, you may as well run your team. But it feels very Lotus Mercedes era of Renault, this one. So I probably in about 2 years, maybe 3, we'll get an announcement that Renault are coming back as a factory team called Renault. They'll launch a beautiful yellow and black livery. We'll all get very excited. They'll stick around for 4 years, and then they'll go, actually, we're going to be called Clio Racing, and then they'll be powered by Ferrari, and then they'll pull out again. Then they'll return again in a few years after that, and it's what the Enstone lot do. You get used to it. How happy, unhappy, or indifferent would you be? Y'all be if Horner buys Alpine, says Nilesh. I'd be annoyed in the sense that there are reports and rumours that he's talking to a consortium to bring in a 12th team, and I'd rather have a 12th team than him buying Alpine. But I'd be pretty indifferent whatever Christian Horner does going forward. Horner's fine. There's no rush for Christian to do it. He's got 50 million quid or whatever in his pocket, hasn't he? He's fine. He's okay. But, yeah. Not really bothered. Got to stay in the headlines, says Dave. Definitely won't be there for winning races. They might be a dark horse next year, Alpine, with the Mercedes power unit, but I'm not going to get too excited about teams who have written off a season, because don't forget Haas wrote off, yeah, whatever. Wrote off a year and a half, 2 years, and we're still meh. So, yeah. Nice to see plenty of Sauber shirts in the crowd. Yeah, there's a big banner that's been going around in one of the grandstands for Portoletto as well, which is nice to see. Definitely. Oh, anyway. Who's taking sprint pole then? Let's get your predictions in. We've got about 5 minutes to start the session. I did do a poll. Thank you to everyone who's voted. I'll end it because I'll end the poll. I'm not that depressed. Which team will take sprint pole? McLaren 47%, Red Bull 27%, 20% Ferrari, or a shocking 6% saying Mercedes. So thank you very much for your votes. But let me know in the chat. Give me a surname. Who's taking sprint pole? I said Norris yesterday in the F1 Word weekend preview thing. So, which, just very quickly, I made shorter this week by cutting out some of the waffle, and nobody noticed. And I was like, why have I spent all these years trying to make sure that I get lots of waffle in so it gets over the desperate 10-minute mark, and no one even noticed? Apart from one person who said, Tyre Talk seemed early this week. It's like, yeah, it was about a minute earlier. There you go, see? Tyre Talk needs to move so it surprises you one week. I'll do it right at the end or something after predictions. You'll go, what the hell? You never know. Rev says foot out. Why? As long as no one tries to combine their names, no one needs a team known by fans as Hornpeen. Now I do. Now that's what I want. That's what I want. Hornpeen. There you go. Hornolt. Or Horno. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Ayinka says Piastri comeback is on. Quickly move on. Hatbrus has gone with extra tropical cyclone for sprint pole. Ewan has gone with Piastri as well. Let's no Fud, please don't. God no. Mylander for pole. Piastri, Norris, and Albon is a top 3 from Fud there. Pace wise isn't too bad, is it? For them. We need to start getting this set up in a second, so I'll do these. Extremely representing Hurricane for pole. Hook for pole. How brilliant would that be? It's a 7-string bassist. Incredible. Pascal would definitely do another dance. Piastri P1 says Pascal, then Verstappen, Norris, and one Sauber in SQ3. Norris, Piastri, and Hamilton for Red Raven. Can't wait for the off-season over here where we get 3-hour streams about tyres. Hell yeah. Absolutely. Let's get everything set up then for the watch-along so that we are actually ready rather than just sitting here waffling away. So, as always, please do remember, I can't show you any on-track footage for obvious copyright reasons. I'm pressing the wrong button. That's why, Sean. There you go. However, we have got live timing provided by the awesome folks over at Multiviewer for F1. Thank you so much to those guys for allowing me to use the data on the F1 Word and here, of course, on Formula Sean. Really appreciate you allowing me to do that. It's great stuff. If you do want to check it out and customize your own viewing experience with as much or as little data as you like, you can do so by following the link in the description. The app is free, but you will need some sort of F1 TV subscription. F1 TV access is fine. You'll get all the data for that as well. But yeah, thanks to those guys. So there we go. SQ1, SQ2, SQ3. I'm going to be quite honest with you. This won't be as... I say informed as the F1 word, but that's a joke, surely. I mean, it's never been informed, has it? But I won't be as desperate to tell you exactly what tyre everyone's on at that moment in time. I'll keep you updated, of course. I'll also admit that I'm still not 100% on sprint qualifying rules. I know we've got 12 minutes for the first session, so that's something. And it's mandatory mediums, I believe. I think. Maybe. Possibly. Maybe. 3 hours stream about tyres, Indy 2005 review it is then, says John T. Do you know, there's so many things like throughout history that we've talked about before, John T, that we've always wanted to sit down and just talk about on a stream, but we've never done it. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to do it. And if we use face cams as well, we can use sarcastic expressions, which should get us out of a bit of trouble, because people, when they can't see your face and your sarcasm, sometimes you say something, not you, John, to me, and I upset everybody when clearly it was a joke. But yeah, Indy, Singapore, yes, CPB, the Massa one, I know, before you say it. Lots we want to talk about. So we are green and go for SQ1. That's going to be fun to timestamp later. You're going to get the end of a sentence and then straight into quali. There you go. Mandated single set of softs for SQ. So, yes, it's softs for SQ3 and it's mediums for 1 and 2, isn't it? Yeah. I think what's throwing me is I seem to recall, correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to recall when we first started doing these sprint qualifying sessions, wasn't it hards, mediums, and then softs in the 3 sessions, and then it became mediums, and then what we have now, basically. So Ewan says Brazil should always be the last race of the season. 100%. I nearly put it in the preview. I say it every year. This should be the season finale. Imagine this was the season finale. Norris, Piastri, 1 point between them. Boom. I'm just saying. I look at the chat, not the camera. You there? Hi. Yeah, but no, seriously. Like, that'd be incredible. What an end to the season it would be. 1 point between them in Brazil, and there's rain in the air. Oh, 2012 vibes. That was nuts. A race Nico Hulkenberg should have won, of course, but didn't, and crashed into Lewis Hamilton instead. CPB says, whatever hello is in Portuguese. I don't know. I don't know. Somebody will tell me. Somebody will tell me in chat, or tell us in chat. My brother and his wife, so my sister-in-law, and my niece have just come back from Barcelona, so they've been teaching me some Spanish, and it's all just gone straight in one ear and out the other. I don't hold information very well these days. If I recall, it was HMS, a hard, medium, soft, and only a single set of tyres per session, which at one race led to the stupid situation of T's not wanting to use inters. That was it on a drying trip. Yes, that was it. Yeah. Got you. I remember that now. That was chaos, wasn't it? Lee says, hello. Did I miss something? You didn't, Lee. We've just started, mate. Hello. Hope you're well. Good to see you. But yeah, no, all good. All good. Hey, Ash, as well. Hope you're all right, mate. End of the week. I don't know if you work weekend. Look, I used to work weekends in, obviously, catering, retail, and care. So when someone would go, it's Friday, I'd be like, shut up, I work weekends. The F1 guy has no clue about tyres. This Formula Sean guy knows what he's on about, says RC. It's true. It's true. I replied to your comment on the post I put on the channel the other day, Kevin. Earlier today, when you were asking when you could stop going over to the other place. I was like, I'm still going to be there, but when you're ready. Ash still working weekends. There you go. I mean, I sort of am, I suppose, but this isn't work, is it? This is fun. So Piastri's gone fastest to kick things off on a 1:10.286, quarter of a tenth. There you go. Clear of Lando Norris, who's a tenth clear of Alonso. Stroll goes fourth. Have they still got a gravel track down at turn 3 for Lance, fourth for Lance to drive into tomorrow? I don't know, or Sunday. Aren't you a train cooker? Thought for you guys, Mondays are basically the Sunday day off. Yeah, no, I am. But I used to work all weekend, which was fun, and then I'd usually get lumber. I'd usually supposed to have a Monday off and then get pulled into something last minute. So yeah, kind of how it is when you do chefing and stuff like that. You see, oh, I've got a day off tomorrow. Oh no, I haven't. Never mind. Someone's having a party for no reason because it's a Monday. Yeah, we should call it the Lance Stroll Gravel Trap, Ash. I think we should. But obviously, everybody out on the mediums, by the way, no strategy in this. It is mediums for SQ1 and SQ2, and then softs for SQ3. Twitchy Ferrari through there for what I think is Charles Leclerc. It is indeed. Hamilton's helmet is actually quite nice this weekend. It's yellow and green and blue for Brazil and Senna, of course, as you'd expect. Honorary Brazilian, of course. Officially Lewis Hamilton. It was official years ago. I do like how on the driver tracker, the drivers all seem to cut between turn 6 and the pit lane when they're coming out of the garage. Always a laugh. Wanted to be a chef so bad growing up. Turns out it's not as glorious as it looks on TV, says a Yinker. No, far from it. It's fun. And as long as you work with competent people, you're generally all right. But I would have the occasional Gordon Ramsay moment at some idiots that I worked with. Good God, let's not get it. That's a story for another day. Oh, there's some stories I could tell you. Goodness me. No, it's definitely not glamorous. It's not the worst job in the world, but it's not glamorous. Long hours as well. So Hamilton goes P7, Leclerc P9, Bortoletto 8th and Hulkenberg 10th. So we've got Ferrari, Sauber in that middle there of the, or towards the back end of the top 10 rather. Hadjar and Lawson doing well, 4th and 6th at the moment. Obviously, Max Verstappen with a new helmet goes 2 tenths quicker in the first sector than Oscar Piastri. Now, I said yesterday in the preview over on Other Place that I thought Norris, if it's dry, would take pole today. Verstappen would win the sprint and qualifying pole if it was wet tomorrow. And Piastri would win the race on Sunday. That, my friends, is called hedging your bets. That's a Patreon exclusive story. Jack says, let's effing go. Yes, Jack. Yes, I think it's only sprint quali, mate. Calm down. It's all right. Proper quali tomorrow. That's when we get really excited. Still up on Piastri, by the way, Verstappen in the middle sector, but he is not purple. However, what he has got is a lovely toe through turn 14 and turn 15 and down that straight. So that's going to really help Verstappen here. Surely going to go fastest. He does go quickest by a couple of tenths of a second. Best part of a 1:10.107. Ash is back to work for me later. Hopefully catch your streams tomorrow. Have a good one, Ash. Hopefully it's not it says care there, so I'm assuming you're working in care, so I hope it's not a stressful evening. I remember those all too well. Make sure they're all in bed for the night, staff. Crack on. Or was that just where I worked? Took me a minute to find your new channel. Says, is it Jaker? Hope you well, mate. Thank you very much. Hey to Catson as well. Says, hey Sean, watching while I cook food for the channel OG. Thank you very much, Catson. Hope you well. What are you cooking? What are you cooking? That's what I want to know. Oh, I know you are. It took me a second to realise who you were then. There we go. Yeah, well, you'll have to tell what you're cooking. I need to know now. If you tell me you're cooking, I've got to know. I've got to know. Over the line. Gasly's P2, by the way, not anymore because Russell's gone P1 on a 110 flat. 600s quicker than Verstappen, who's a couple of tenths, nearly 2.5 tenths quicker than Gasly. So Norris is improving. He's purple and purple, so times will ramp up. The track it's got quite high evolution here. I think actually Pirelli ranked it 5 out of 5 in terms of evolution, so the maximum. Interesting though that Norris has just done a time that is 3.5 tenths quicker than Russell, 1:09.7. Piastri is a couple of tenths down his teammate at least through the lap at the moment, so over the line he goes. Yeah, 3 tenths down his teammate overall there, Piastri. A 1:10 flat. Surprising. Pasta alla vodka and focaccia bread. Oh, sounds lovely. Sounds lovely, Christine. I would be, yeah, I'd say send me some, but it'd be off by the time we got here, so maybe not. But yeah, that sounds good. I don't know what we're having yet. Somewhat quick, I'd imagine. Because we won't be finishing here till about 8, so yeah, it's going to be a sandwich, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We've got 3.5 minutes to go. Norris, Piastri, the top two. I mean, Norris is comfortably P1. Piastri not so comfortably P2, but McLaren still looking good here. Finished third in his 150th Grand Prix here in 2024. Did Pierre Gasly, according to that stat there. We're looking at the Alpine garage rather than the cars on track. So there are plenty out there. In fact, nearly all 20 are out there. So we've got less than 3 minutes left. I don't know if we get projected cutoffs for the sprint qualifying, but at the moment we're losing Albon, Ocon, Colapinto, Sainz, and Tsunoda. What's happening with Yuki out there? Traffic or just generally not having a good time of it? Sums up his time at Red Bull, doesn't it, this season? Hamilton not improving massively here. In fact, he's not improving at all. Lots of cut, and Norris basically stopped on the start-finish rate as Leclerc only goes 7th. We might get some surprises here. Excuse me, sorry. I didn't mean to cough in your ears. I do apologise. That was one that We've all had them where they come out of nowhere. Usually get a warning. Was there any sign of rain? No rain. No, not at the moment. I'm going to go cough out your ear now. Give me 2 secs. At least it wasn't a burp. That's the most important thing. It's an evolving track, and he was the literal first car out. Fair enough. That's fair enough. 18-1 in the first sector. Yeah, it's only a 10th down on Piastri, to be fair. So not bad. Not bad for Yuki. We're keeping an eye on that Bearman as well going well. He's improving. 10.4, 110.4 is a projected knockout. Jesus. That's right up sort of Leclerc, Antonelli territory, that is. So that's... Bloody hell, yeah. It's quite a big deal, I'd imagine. Just don't cough out a furball. I'll try not to. I'll try not to. I don't know where it comes from. Usually my coughs give me a warning, like a tickle. That just went, I'm going to throw this into the microphone for no reason. How's Stroll doing? He's up there in 11th place at the moment. So a few in chat talking about Lance Stroll. Tsunoda only goes 13th, the 110.6. That, if we believe the projected knockout, that is not going to be enough. Let's see what Bearman does over the line. No, it isn't. Bearman does a 110 flat. That's a cracking lap from Ollie Bearman. Haas saying don't expect a P4 this weekend. That's a cracking lap. So much traffic out there as well. The Williams delivery, by the way, we haven't mentioned that one as we come round. It is a special Gulf delivery for this weekend, and I think it's the worst they've done. To be honest, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in the gap. But over the line goes Albon into P6. Sainz, it looked like, was giving him a tow there. So not going to be able to return the favour. Verstappen, not a great lap, but he is improving in the middle sector here as we enter the final 25 seconds of SQ1. Over the line goes Max. Just go P2 now. Nearly 3/10 off Lando Norris. Russell pits, so he's pretty happy with that one. As we enter the final 10 seconds of SQ1, we've got cars on the bubble here. Someone's lost sight. Tsunoda is down in P17, by the way. So he is out. We saw that Hadjar goes P6 as the checkered flag is out for the end of SQ1. Gasly not improving. Leclerc is improving, which is a good sign. Colapinto goes 15th. Drops Stroll to 16th. Was he wide there? I don't think so. No, Norris is purple in the middle sector. He's okay. He's not. I don't think Norris is going to get knocked out on a 109.7. Alonso does a 110 flat. That's a good lap as well. Up into P3. Gasly over the line. Leclerc over the line goes 11th. Gasly will follow him over the line. Isn't improving much, is he? A couple of places up to P8. Lewis Hamilton, I think everyone's okay now. Stroll's improving. Sainz a little bit as well, but I don't think there's too much to worry about here for Antonelli and Hamilton, but they aren't exactly comfortable there. 13th and 14th, but Tsunoda is out. Yes, P18. Stroll goes 12th. Lance Stroll is through. Bloody hell. You were right, chat. Keep an eye on him. There you go. Through he goes. Hamilton moves into 10th. Antonelli on the bubble, but nobody improving behind him. So that is your lot for SQ1. We've lost Colapinto, Lawson, Tsunoda, Ocon, and Sainz. Norris fastest from Verstappen and Fernando Alonso because Fernando Alonso exists. But a bit of a strange ending there. Very mixed. And actually, Red Raven saying unusual. I think that's a good word there. Really strange session, that one. Top three's weird. Bearman up there in 6th. Hadjar 7th. Gasly 8th. Bortoletto 9th. Then you've got Stroll through into Q2. Antonelli on the bubble. Tsunoda out. Crofty saying second slowest for Tsunoda, but I'm pretty sure he's third slowest. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That wasn't a mistake on Sainz's lap. He was just slow. Those were his best sectors. Then Fudd says, or not, he made a mistake in S1. So sector 1, a mistake from Carlos Sainz, according to Fudd there, who's sort of basically my Ted Kravitz now. So there you go. Could be bad warm-up. Yeah, we know Williams are quite sensitive, as you say, Neelish, to getting that warm-up spot on. So perhaps on Sainz, but a mistake in sector 1 won't have helped either. So, yeah, that is SQ1. So we wait for the... Is it 12 and 8? I think, for the next 2 sessions. So, yeah, we'll get rid of the flag now. That's the Williams everyone's talking about. I'm not impressed with it. I think, I know you've got to think of sponsors with Komatsu and that, but I think that dark blue ruins it. And I think the stripe on the front, the orange stripe, is too wide, and I just moan. It's just moaning as usual. That's all it is. It's just a mess, a bit of a mess. But they've had some great ones as well, which is what's frustrating. But there you go. Yeah, hate's too strong. It's not a livery I hate. I don't like it at all. It's just not really working for me. But yes, I meant to check actually very quick. I meant to do this before I started the stream and I completely forgot. Hopefully, don't look at my password, everyone. Oh no. Oh, terrible. Why is nothing working for me today? There we go. Yeah, I try to think. Was there a Singapore one they did a while ago? Last year, maybe, that looked really cool. The Gulf livery. They did a few races that had different ones, didn't they? But yeah, I thought that worked quite well. But this one just doesn't really work for me. So worth mentioning because, but Piastri, Stroll, Hadjar, Bortoletto, Norris, Gasly, Antonelli, Sainz, Russell, Bearman and Albon all noted for failing to follow race director's instructions. The maximum delta time, and nothing will come of that. There you go. Yeah, that's the one, Yinka. You got the password. You knew it. It's still mediums, isn't it, Nilesh, for the next session? I think. Lawson's going to be on the radio, not happy, I imagine. What the flip just happened, he said. So we're going to watch Sainz now. Here we go. So he's very wide at turn 1. Oh, big lockup, to be fair. Into turn, yeah, well wide at turn 1. Your lap's over at that point. His worst execution. Cool. I'm trying to work out what he means. Does that mean warm-up lap, maybe? Or something like that? Oh, dear. Yeah, really twitchy through the middle sector as well. It's not... It doesn't look good, does it, on board? That livery's awful on board as well, which doesn't help. Little lock-up again, maybe on the outside, possibly. Or kicking something up. Yeah, it's not a clean lap from Sainz at all anyway, but also the mistake in that first corner with the lock-up, so that's why he's down in 20th. I wonder what he means by the worst execution. Yeah, he's up on the white line on the way into turn 1. And it is the left front, yeah. And that's game over at that point. You missed your apex there. You're screwed all the way to turn 4, aren't you, pretty much? That's a shame. As in his worst lap. Okay, so that's what he means. His worst execution of a lap. That makes sense, yeah. It's last in sprint qualifying. The proper qualifiers tomorrow afternoon, so that's when he'll really care. But yeah, what's the exact opposite of smooth in English? Rough operator sounds wrong on levels I can't even describe as Red Raven. I think it would be rough. Yeah, you take the rough with the smooth. That's an expression, so I suppose it would be. Yeah, rough operator doesn't work. No, you're right. Abrasive operator. There you go. They'll possibly try for a tow when Albon finishes lap. Sainz was slightly ahead of him. I won't read that password out. Yeah, that's not quite it. It is rough. Yeah. I don't like this Ferrari pace, says a Yinka. Yeah, it's not great 10th and 12th, is it? But was it Kota where they had like really bad pace early in the weekend, then suddenly were right in the mix towards the sharp end out of nowhere, and then it all fell apart again. So we'll see. We are about ready to go for SQ2. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Please do drop a like if you haven't already, and subscribe if you are new to the channel. Once again, thank you for your support over the last 2 weeks today, technically, since the first video went out, but I don't really count the explanation video as a video. So 2 weeks tomorrow since the first stream that we had. So thank you for your support. We've done well in 2 weeks, so if we can keep going, that'd be amazing. And the sooner we reach that 1,000 subscribers and that 4,000 watch time hours, I can stop pestering you all for subs, even though I won't stop pestering you all. You know what I'm like. I'll ask. You don't have to. Your name will pop up on screen as well, which is kind of, very exciting for everybody, I'm sure. Newsflash, abrasive operator ain't any better, says Red Raven. Doesn't fit either. We go for SQ2. Doesn't fit to the song is what I mean. But yes, we are on the mediums again. We'll see what everyone could do. I mean, one of the good things about sprint qualifying is that we do get action start to finish. I know we sort of get it in regular quali anyway, but they've got to be out there pumping the laps in, haven't they? So I was thinking yesterday again about qualifying sessions, as I often do, because I'm just so boring. But again, back to that Martin Brundle phrase or explanation, this is the best qualified format we've ever had. I completely agree. I sometimes yearn for the days of just here are 12 laps, which is in lap, which includes your in lap, fly lap, and out lap, fly lap, and in lap. 12 laps, 1 hour. The problem was the first 20 minutes was teams just sat in the garages waiting for the session to be, the track to be fit for qualifying. So it got a bit boring, which is why we got this format. And this is it, whatever the format. I just don't feel like sprint qualifying, much like the sprint race, is long enough, to be honest. But then I'd be moaning we didn't get much action, so they can't win. Clumsy Operator says a hat rust. Tap the thumbs up for the new channel. I like this Sean. The other Sean on the old channel was Krusty, says Kevin. I didn't think you noticed. Frustrated. I wouldn't use Krusty. I'd use frustrated. Gagged. No, what? No, that was a joke. No. Get a message now from someone from Planet Sport. We didn't gag yet. I was joking. I wasn't gagged ever. Say what I want. It's never stopped me before. So, but Krusty, yeah, Krusty. I'll take Krusty over some of the things I've been called in the past by you, Kevin. Alonso, fastest. Well, not fastest, but he's top of the timesheets because he's yet to. He's first one to do an outlap. Get his sector tyres on the board, so he will be fastest at the end of this, unless he crashes, in which case he won't be. I'm lying to you again. It's Bortoletto's first, isn't he? We watched him go out the pits. So Bortoletto is going to be first, and he's going to top the timesheets at his home Grand Prix. Bortoletto goes P1. That's actually a decent time, 1:09.9 as well from Bortoletto. Track will keep ramping up. I think the fastest lap ever around here was in the 1:07s from Lewis Hamilton. So we'll look at Gabriel Bortoletto's family because I know we're all desperate to see Bortoletto's family. Hulkenberg goes fastest on a 1:09.7. Bearman 1:09.9 in P2 now. So spanked. Hey Barry. How you are, mate? It says, hurrah, a decent channel for race weekends. Go, Sean. Thank you very much, mate. Again, as I said to everybody earlier, these first couple of months on this channel, the new channel, the fresh channel, whatever you want to call it, we're just trying some things out. So some of these might be back next year, some of them might not be. It all comes down to, I'm afraid, viewing figures and what you guys want to do. And if you hate sprint qualifying and never want to watch it again with me, then that's fine. I'll understand. I won't cry. I promise. Fifth for Lewis Hamilton. Please don't put these images in my head. Also, Planet F1 looks like Tom Hiddleston. Or Hiddleston. Do you mean Sam? Oh, no, Sam's cool. We like Sam a lot. Sam did the shorts on the F1 word as well. I liked Sam. I loved working with Sam. He's one I'll miss. 1:09.7 for Max Verstappen. Only P4. I thought the timing had stopped because I went to look at the top of the timesheets and obviously he wasn't there. So he's only in fourth place, Max Verstappen there. Not that looking like Tom Hiddleston's a bad thing, by the way. I just, you know. It's worse people to look like. Pierre Gasly, by the way, flying in the first sector, 2.5 tenths quicker than Gabriel Bortoletto, which would put, and purple as well. That would put him, well, fastest, obviously, at the moment. If he could carry that on, that's a big ask, though. But he should go well ahead of Bortoletto there and into the top 10. So Pierre Gasly in a good first sector. Maybe a toe off somebody, possibly a Piastri or a Hadjar. But Norris not purple out there. He's doing green. Fastest sectors at the moment. His fastest sectors. Personal bests. That's the word I was looking for. Norris goes second. So what has Fernando Alonso jumped in a McLaren by mistake? Because that doesn't feel right. Over the line goes Gasly. Only 10th, actually. So not good in the middle sector from Gasly. But Piastri goes third. So Alonso, that looks like pace. Hey, Sean, any news on Stewart for the race review? So we are debating Vegas, but I've penciled him in for Abu Dhabi. So before the end of the season, there'll be at least one, and we'll do the race reaction. So live shortly after the Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi with the race reaction. Which actually, to be fair, if that's the only one we do this season, I'm going to do them all next year. But if that's the only one we do this season, would kind of feel quite fitting that it's the season finale, championship decider potentially, loads to talk about. But we might do Vegas, and if we do Vegas, I'll find someone for Qatar as well. But I'll talk to him early next week to confirm it. But yeah, they are definitely coming back. Don't worry, they're definitely coming back, and they will be before the end of the season. I just don't know how many there'll be before the end of the season. The other issue, of course, being that I'm doing race watch-alongs over on on the F1 word for the rest of the season, so not really paying attention to the races when I'm doing the race watch-alongs enough to do a reaction, so it sort of compromises them a bit. So we'll see. Might have to shift some stuff around. Jonty for Qatar. If Jonty wants to do Qatar, Jonty is welcome to join for Qatar. We could talk about the stupid mandated stint lengths we'll probably end up with, because Pirelli can bring the wrong tyres to every race if they want, but I'll sort it all out next week for sure. I've got a bit of time next week. So Norris basically stopping on the start-finish straight, if that makes sense. Stopping on the start-finish straight. Start the stopwatch. Stop the start watch. Is it preparation? I assume it's just preparation, but he's very slow. Nobody behind him, to be fair. Proper cool-down lap and then go again, I'm guessing. John to do any or all. Oh, if you could do all, that'd be great. And then I can leave you and Stuart to it. I think the concern about Vegas for me is that my other half is working, so I don't want to be like screaming and shouting at 4 a.m. on a race watch along. So maybe we could do it maybe like 8, 9 a.m. But bearing in mind, Stuart and I are both been up to watch the race at like many of you were like 2:30 or something. So half 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It might be a bit. First one might be a bit delirious, but that could be quite funny, to be fair. I'd do the MX5 Cup watch-alongs with you, John T. Or on your Twitch, maybe. I'd do that with you as a guest. I'd do that. I've watched a bit of it, not much, so it could be quite funny. And if I'm drunk at 4 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning RC, then yeah. I've got problems. So Alonso is still fastest on a 109.3. That's what's Hadjar lock up in there at turn 10. So steady there. Not a great lap this from Hadjar. He might be in a spot bother. He's still P6 though, so might be okay. But well done. But Alonso is still fastest on a 109.3. Then it's Norris and Piastri, less than a 10th off the top there, Piastri. So that's the 10th covering the top 4 really, with Russell in P4. Verstappen only 8th. Projected knockout time is a 109.5, which means, if that's correct, Antonelli, Hadjar, Stroll, Verstappen, Leclerc, Hulkenberg, Hamilton, Albon, Gasly, Bearman and Bortoletto are your drivers at risk. Norris is now picking up the pace. He's a 10.5 up on Alonso in the first sector, so I guess second laps are lower fuel, aren't they? Now my head's starting to sort of work out what's going on out there. Lower fuel, track's ramping up as well. Get your cool down lap proper, your preparation lap proper. You're all right. So that's probably why we've suddenly got Norris flying out there like that. So Bortoletto only 14th, so I think it is him out, isn't it? Yeah, 30 seconds to go. Bortoletto is out of qualifying, sprint qualifying. Unfortunately, so that's P14 at best for him. 15 seconds to go. We've got Leclerc off the track. He stopped. What's happened to Leclerc? He's spun. Is he going to get going? He is going to get going, and it's going to compromise Verstappen, who's had to back right out of it, and I think that's going to be it for... I'll tell you what, if... where was Hamilton? Hamilton over the line doesn't improve, obviously, with the yellow flag. So Hamilton's out. Hamilton's out in P11. Who can get their laps in? Gasly might. He might be okay here, Pierre. He does get his lap in, but he stays P13, so he is out as well. Albon should be okay. So will Bearman. Russell goes third, by the way. But Albon and Bearman can get their laps in, but they're not exactly flying out there. So I think that's game over. So we've lost Hamilton, Albon, Gasly, Bortoleto, and Ollie Bearman. It was double wave yellows as well, where Leclerc was. So all the lap times that were in that section at that time will be deleted. So Hamilton out. Lewis Hamilton gone. Hamilton. Wow. I mean, Ferrari haven't really had the pace all weekend, have they? To this point, or all weekend. It's Friday afternoon, but you know what I mean. They've not really been there pace-wise, so maybe not a surprise that we're seeing one getting knocked out. But, I mean, you look at some of those that are behind. Albon could have easily made top 10 based on what we saw in practice, or we might have got a shock from a Bearman. It could have put Leclerc in trouble as well. So what did Leclerc do then? So he comes through what will be turn 9. Looks fine. I'm guessing touches the grass on the outside. No, locks up and then tries to put the power down on exit and just round he goes. That was a bit strange. I thought he was going to touch some grass or something on the outside and go for a spin, but he's just lit up the rears. He's tried to get the power down and round he goes. And that's it. So Leclerc, probably a little bit fortunate there, actually, but we have a Ferrari in the top 10, which is something I suppose. But yeah, Alonso was looking at the screen thinking, what the hell? Why is my name first? Yeah, it's because he got in a McLaren by mistake. I think they'll have to investigate that for sure. Leclerc not shaft Hamilton at some point during the weekend challenge, says John T. I mean, I'm trying to think of other instances this season, but there have been a few, haven't there, at times? But it's Ferrari just being Ferrari. What is it they call it on the old socials? Honts or something like that? I don't bloody know what it means. There you go. Hamilton has to say for Leclerc spin and miss the flag. Yeah, and then his lap time was deleted anyway, wasn't it? So, yeah, prancing donkey, says Ash. Feels about right, yeah. The Argon investigates Hadjar, Stroll, Piastri, Gasly, Leclerc for failing to follow the race director's notes on maximum delta time. But again, very little going to happen there, if anything. Thomas is here. DJ Naked, Channel OG. Hey, mate. He says, Sean, I'm hungry. I've heard you're having some vodka pasta, which sounds delicious. So let me know how it was over on Discord. At me and all that. And let me know. I don't know what we're having yet. I haven't decided. Possibly one of those boring something out the freezer teas, because it's going to be quite late. That's the thing with these evening races, that I tend to just do something really quick, which, you know, processed crap, which makes me feel terrible as a chef. But you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I say takeaway, but I can't afford that anymore. So, you know. Super Grandpa in P1 says sighted camera, Super Grandpa. Oh, I'm sure you'll love that. He's not that much. Shut up. He's not that much older than me as well, so be quiet on that one. Pictures can be provided. Okay. I'll get photos now to make it even worse. I'll be sat there eating something out of the freezer and you'll just be like, here's what you could have won. So thanks. Great. Yeah, Stroll in SQ3. I missed that one. So let's run through the order then. So Alonso, Norris and Russell, your top three. Half a tenth between them. Then Piastri, Antonelli and Hadjar. This is, do you know, I said after practice, McLaren look in a class of their own, and it may well be once they get into SQ3 or proper qualifying tomorrow or whatever, that we see that they really are. But at the moment, it's a real mix in there. Hadjar doing great in P6. Stroll, P7, only 0.3 off his teammate, but that is the fastest time, so not bad. And ahead of Max Verstappen in 8th. His lap was compromised by the yellows as well, I think. Leclerc, only 9th. Hulkenberg through into the top 10 as well, which is great news for Sauber in P10. And then we lost Hamilton, Albon, Gasly, Bortoleto, and Bearman. A bit surprised by Bearman as well. He was good in SQ1, wasn't he? So yeah. P11 and box. Howell says, yeah, every time, mate. Is that because he boxed? What did Verstappen do then? The car is completely broken. It's just undrivable, says Max Verstappen. Bit slidey through there, to be fair. I don't know why. Is that generally? That's not good, is it? I'm not surprised, really. I mean, the fact they turned it around. Hopefully he can turn it around. Yeah, I'm not reading that. If you're a chef, you should do an F1 cooking channel. You cook meal or snack from the country of the GP. Elizabeth used to do that on her social. She used to do Grand Prix. Was it Gastro? Grand Prix Gastro or Gastro Grand Prix, something like she used to call it, where she did some regions. That was they were a good watch. Also, by the way, if I probably shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. If you do follow Elizabeth on socials, please do go check out her Substack and give her some support. She's also gone the same way as me at Planet Sport, so she's no longer there. So please do go give her some support, because she's a fantastic journalist, an incredible motorsport historian, and a great storyteller as well, as many of you will know from the F1 word. There's the banner I was talking about. So yeah, go give Elizabeth some support as well. Really lovely person as well. Like genuinely really great to work with. So I don't think she'll be listening, but if she is, hope you well, Elizabeth, and take care. It was a pleasure working with you. DJ Naked Thomas says undrivable and completely broken, still drives like 5 kilometers in just over a minute. Yeah. Completely broken, undrivable, driving around the track. P8. No, it's not raining, Pietro. Rain expected tomorrow and pretty much all day, I think, but I'm not going to commit to that, because that is depending on the the forecast. We are go for SQ3, the sprint pole position shootout in Brazil. Soft tyres, of course, for everybody in this session, so this could be good. I got a question, Kevin. Are you done, mate? Are you completely done with the other place? Because I keep getting these odd messages from you now. What is this place you speak of? I think Kevin's more done than I am. Which feels wrong. It should be the other way around, surely. But anyway. For those who are into racing history, Elizabeth's channel, Deadly Passions, Terrible Joys, is fantastic, including an hour-long interview with Mario Andretti. That's the one. Thank you, John. That's a good shout there. I forgot what it's called. I knew it was Deadly Something and Something Joys, but I couldn't quite get it right. I just didn't want to shout it out. So thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Yeah, go give Elizabeth some support. I cannot ever count Verstappen out, especially when he hates the car, says the Hatbrust. Yeah, this is undrivable. Is Verstappen's the tyres are gone, isn't it? So. I really want it to rain tomorrow, just because Brazil's a great track to watch cars around anyway, and we tend to see great racing here, full stop, and chaos, but rain just that little bit more, and adds something to it. Russell then, first to do a lap. I think, I mean, I got it wrong earlier, didn't I? So it might not be, but I think he is. It might be McLaren. We'll find out soon. Russell, obviously purple in a first sector, 17.8. That was in and around the fastest, actually. 1:17.7 is the fastest so far from Norris. That was in Q2 or 1. I think it was 2, wasn't it? Yeah. I'll show them one day, Kevin. My model cars. I should clarify that to anyone listening and not seeing the chat. I'll get them out one day. I might record a little video to play in a Christmas stream or a midweek stream or something like that. If we do those, and yeah, might be easier than trying to move that camera around and faff. But yeah. 35.6 in the middle for Russell, which is 0.3 down on the fastest so far, which was by Fernando Alonso. Russell does a 109.5, so I suspect we're going to get well into the low 109s here. Antonelli purple middle sector, by the way, so good from him, 35.3, which matches the best, and Antonelli goes fastest by a couple of tenths of a second as well. So a really good lap that from Antonelli, but Piastri's now gone fastest in the middle sector, or he had done. No, he has done. That's Norris I'm looking at, sorry, 2.31 for him. Piastri didn't in the end. Piastri over the line, only P3 behind the 2 Mercedes. Norris goes fastest, 109.2, but only 700ths quicker than Antonelli. Mercedes have turned up. Someone made the point in the comments of the preview yesterday on the F1 word that the... spots around the camera lens. It wasn't. I got excited then. That actually cooler temperatures keep an eye on Mercedes. So it's 18.6 air, 34.3 track. Tomorrow it's supposed to be even cooler, and I think Sunday is 16, 17 degrees for the race, so that may play into Mercedes' hands. It may not as well, of course, but... I should tidy my cars up, says John T. If you want to, you can do, mate, but don't worry about it. It's an independent channel now, so as long as there's nothing too rude in the background, I think everything should be fine. It's all right. I'm going to have to get a little Christmas tree or something, aren't I? Just to put on a shelf behind me for the December streams when we get there. Going to have to. It's like the law. I just made that law up. Obviously. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in SQ2. Piastri nearly 3.5 tenths down. So Verstappen's waiting. So is he thinking of saving a set of softs maybe for later in the weekend, perhaps? I think if it rains, you lose a set of tyres, don't you, as well? Because you get, I'm not sure which one they lose, but yeah. Yeah, I'll have to have Santa hats. F1 Santa. I'm sure there'll be an F1 Santa hat somewhere that I can find with, I don't know, Jacques Villeneuve on it or something. Pulling a stupid face and a speech bubble that says, I think we should ban seatbelts. Because it's just Jacques Villeneuve things. Here goes Hulkenberg then. First sector. Not bad. 3 tenths down on Norris, which would put him around P4. So, not anything overly special, but not a bad first sector. Leclerc's only 5th, by the way, on a 109.7, but still less than a tenth behind Piastri. So, interesting stuff out there. I'm trying to work out where... So Verstappen is doing 1 run. So's Hadjar. He's on the way out. So everyone who hasn't gone is obviously only going to do 1 run. But I wonder if there's a reason for that. Saving tyres, or do they feel it's pointless? It's quite a short session, isn't it? So is it pointless doing 2 laps on these tyres? Go out there, lowest fuel you can. Fresh tyres and just give it everything. I do feel that... this is the problem with SQ3 and the mandated tyres thing. It doesn't sort of... I know sometimes proper qualifying, the final session in Q3 can be a little bit anticlimactic, but I feel like SQ3 always feels a little bit anticlimactic because they've got to be careful with the tyres for the weekend, and maybe we could loosen that rule up a little bit. Would be nice. That's how I feel. Yeah, true, Red Raven. Only have a single set after all, so why waste it? Yeah, get the best out in the best conditions, but that's the problem. But the problem is if you start shifting the rules, you've got to bring more tyres to a weekend, which then has knock-on effects, doesn't it? So Piastri's last lap was 37 seconds off the pace, but that's because it was a cool lap, a preparation lap. Here we go. Piastri's got a pretty clear run of it, actually, so he should be okay. Norris will as well. So these are the final runs. Piastri, who have to practice, I said... after practice, will be careful before declaring it, but a lot of people saying that Piastri is now back on form because he was second in practice and close to Norris, but looks a bit shaky, not quite so certain in these sessions as Norris goes faster still. Purple first sector and actually a tenth quicker than his teammate already. So Piastri needs an epic middle sector and hope for Norris to make a mistake here. I think Piastri's going to be... Antonelli's well out of the way. So he's past him. I think Piastri should be okay. I think Leclerc and Stroll are far enough that they could have double catching them a little bit quicker, actually. Then he could have... yeah, he's done Piastri. He's 2 tenths down on Norris overall. The best he's going to get here is P3, unless he has an incredible final sector. Stroll goes 5th. Verstappen's done a purple first sector, by the way, in his undrivable Red Bull. Piastri to the line, only P3. 109.4. It is only the sprint, but every point at this stage of the season is going to count. Norris marginally improves, 0.03 of a second. Max Verstappen has had a shocking middle sector, I think. I say shocking, it's his best one, but he's 3 tenths down, isn't he? Unless I'm reading that wrong. Alonso goes P4. Cracking lap for Alonso, though. Verstappen only goes 6th. He was purple in the first sector. Lost all that time. He matched Norris in the final sector, so all the time he lost was in the middle sector. Here goes Hadjar into P9. Now it's the 2 Mercedes. What can they do? Russell coming to the line. He's currently P5 and goes P4. goes ahead of Alonso, and Kimi Antonelli, what's he doing? Personal best in a first. He's his 10th down in the middle. That would still be third place, though, if he can pull this off. Oh, he's really, really sliding through turn 12. I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I'll butcher it. He's not going to be on pole, I don't think, unless he had a great run down there. He stays second as Antonelli. He was already second. I was saying he was going to be second, but there you go. Norris on sprint pole from Antonelli, Piastri, Russell, Alonso, Verstappen, Stroll, Leclerc, Hadjar, and Hulkenberg. Not bad. That's a fun grid for tomorrow. So 2 laps for Norris. They're just saying on the commentary there. So maybe that was their best way around it. The crowd screaming in my ear. Thanks. So Norris. I better put the checkered flag out so everyone who tunes in now knows it's over. There you go. Lando Norris on sprint pole position for tomorrow's sprint race in Sao Paulo, the Brazilian Grand Prix weekend, or whatever you want to call it. Brazil GP is the hashtag, so we'll go with that. Just Antonelli P2, less than a 10th behind, which is actually a really stellar result for Kimi Antonelli going into tomorrow's sprint race. Piastri only P3, but I felt like actually with Verstappen's first sector, and Russell as well on form today, I thought that might have been a lot worse, so he might take that quite happily, P3 in the end. George Russell, P4. Fernando Alonso, who was fastest in SQ2, is actually P5 in the end. Still a great result for him. Quarter of a second off, but still, that's in an Aston Martin. Max Verstappen, purple in the first sector, lost all his time in the middle sector. He did a 35.6. The fastest of the day was a 35.2 from Norris, and then he matched him in the final sector. So whatever happened in the middle sector, not working on that Red Bull at all. Stroll P7. Yes, Lance Stroll through 2 qualifying sessions and ended up 7th place. Charles Leclerc, the best of the Ferraris, in P8 with Hadjar 9th. Hulkenberg in 10th place. Great result for him and Hadjar as well, to be fair. So potential points. They're going to have to pass a couple of cars to get there, but you never know. You never know. Lewis Hamilton was knocked out in SQ2. He's 11th. Got caught out by Leclerc's spin, which brought out the double-waved yellows. Albon 12th. Gasly 13th. Bortoletto 14th and Bearman 15th. Not sure who in that gaggle got caught out by the yellow flag. Some might, some not. We know Hamilton did for sure, but not sure. I feel like Gasly may have done as well, but we shall see. They're going to watch Antonelli sliding through the final corner where he would have lost a little bit of time, but I don't think he had quite enough today, but he gave it everything, didn't he? Colapinto just knocked out in SQ1. He, of course, has extended his stay. He will still be driving that car next year. At Alpine alongside Gasly. Liam Lawson 17th, Tsunoda in 18th. Not great at all from Yuki. 19th for Ocon and 20th for Sainz. He made a couple of mistakes in his app, including a big lock-up at turn 1, which sent him wide. So not great for Carlos Sainz, but that's a cracking grid for tomorrow's sprint. And like I say, every point counts at this stage of the season, doesn't it? Leclerc, by the way, has been noted for impeding, so we'll keep an eye on that one over on socials. I'm sure you will. But yeah, that was a good session. It's difficult with the sprint qualifying session. I'm not sure how I feel about them. I get into a Friday and I look forward to all the action, and then a sort of sprint quali comes along and it doesn't get me as excited as proper quali, but that's because I'm weird, I suppose. But there you go. See you later, Kevin, mate. Hope you have a good one. If you've already gone, sorry, mate, but have a good day. Hope to see you to the sprint watch on tomorrow. We'll be live tomorrow. What times? I think about 1:30. I did write them down, then I went and didn't open the things. Let's have a look on the app. So I will be live tomorrow, half an hour before the sprint race starts. So that will be at 1:30 p.m. GMT. I'll then go away and have something to eat, and then I'll come back for the qualifying watch along from 5:30 p.m. GMT, and then there should be the race watch along over on the other channel, the F1 Word, from 4:30 on Sunday. So I'm live for all the major sessions this weekend, 30 minutes ish before the start of each session, and then stay live for 20-30 minutes after the session as well to talk about what we've seen. So your company will be greatly appreciated. Always great to do this and chill out. So thank you very much for your support. And don't forget to subscribe if you're disappearing now, and drop a like as well. That'll be massively appreciated too. So Thomas has now posted the picture in Discord of food. Is it in? I'm guessing it's in general. Oh, that looks delicious. That's ridiculous. Oh, I'm jealous. That looks good. Enjoy, mate. That was very, very good. See you later, Red Raven. Have a good one, mate. Hope you have a good evening, and I'll catch you tomorrow for a sprint. Hopefully lots to talk about in that one. It doesn't get a bit boring. And you as well, 7 String Basis. Thank you very much for your company. And Barry as well. Thank you, Barry. Good to have you on board. On board's maybe the wrong word, but along for the ride. It's good stuff. But if you have any questions, we'll stay live for a few minutes. It will be a shorter stream today with it being a shorter session anyway. But please do pop your questions in chat, and we'll maybe do some predictions for the sprint as well before we finish. And then we'll disappear back to our lives. And then we're back tomorrow for the sprint race. Yeah. Sighted Canvas going to try and see what lap time they can get. What game are you playing? That's the question on that one. Are you on the F1 game, official one, or are you on iRacing or an equivalent? I don't know. Rain is expected tomorrow. Should we check the forecast actually while you're doing your questions? Autodromo, Jose Carlos Apache, weather. Oh, that's why. Oh, yeah. Ignore what I was saying earlier about weather forecasts. The reason that it was dry when I checked the weather forecast earlier is because I searched for the Autodromo Manas Rodriguez, so it was warm and dry in Mexico, not in Brazil. So for the sprint tomorrow, you're looking at the moment around a 20 to 30% chance of rain. Qualifying is around the same. Actually, qualifying is 35% chance of rain anyway. And Sunday, 20% pretty much across the day. So rain is in the air. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting, especially with that grid actually. Rain with that grid, and the reason I say that is because you've got Max Verstappen in 6th place on a wet track in Brazil. That's going to be fun. Lewis Hamilton from 11th, can he come through in the wet? That's a real. I'm looking forward to that grid tomorrow if it rains. I'm poor, so F1 on console. Oh, that's not poor sighted canvas. I've got F1 on console. That's because I'm poor as well. But there you go. I don't know. But nothing wrong. I think that this year's F1 game wasn't too bad, was it? Actually, compared to other ones. But I guess for the price you pay, not too bad isn't really a great deal, is it? But there you go. It's your call, Jonty, to answer your questions, mate. If you're still up for it and things are okay and you're free, then absolutely. But I'll message you after the stream. We'll confirm then, or tomorrow. We'll confirm tomorrow because I'll forget after the stream because I'll be doing all the other stuff and getting ready for tomorrow. But yeah, we'll confirm it. So that I can let people know tomorrow. Hey, Paula says, looking forward to it. Hope you well, Paula. 2 dry sessions then, says Barry. Yeah, I've seen rain, so it's going to be nice and dry, I suppose. Bat right, isn't it? So, yeah. Get your questions in, and if you've got any. If not, then we'll probably wrap it up a little bit early. But we'll go for an hour and a half, so that feels about right for one of these, doesn't it, for a sprint quali? So... But yeah, no, we have got a Lando Norris pot. I'm just trying to look at the grid and see where the stories are tomorrow. I mean, if it does rain, Hamilton, Verstappen coming back, like I say. Can Stroll get past the gravel trap on his formation lap at turn 4? That's quite a big story tomorrow. Piastri versus Norris at the front. The rain could be a great leveler. Will that help Antonelli at the front? Could we see an Antonelli win tomorrow? Who knows? So, yeah, interesting grid, I reckon, for tomorrow's sprint. And then, of course, we've got proper quali after that, which will be where we get a bit more excited, and the race on Sunday. So, good position for Colapinto, considering how crap the Alpine is to sighted canvas. I think only just getting knocked out as well, so I don't think that was too bad for Colapinto at all. Colapinto. Sighted canvas is cold and rainy. Merck should be up there, absolutely. And Kevin said Alonso. Yeah. Red Raven says again, F1 things invent sprints to make it more exciting, sets a rule that lessens the excitement. That was from earlier. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem, isn't it? They don't quite work. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Predictions for tomorrow. If it's dry, Norris, Piastri, Russell. No. Yeah. If it's wet, Verstappen, Piastri, Alonso. Yes, please. I'd take that one. I would absolutely take that one. I definitely would. So, they're my picks. They are my picks. But I think we're going to wrap it up there. I think you guys are ready to go off and have the rest of your Friday evening and do your thing. Random other speculation. Merck will probably be first in Vegas, but what's the order behind them, says Neelish. Good shout on Vegas on Mercedes. It tends to be quite cold, doesn't it? Vegas could be a real curveball now you've said that. Let me think, Neil. Come back to me tomorrow with that one, and I'll have a think over it. I won't actually think about that one because I didn't think about that with Vegas, the temperature. So we'll come back to that one tomorrow. Barry says, as you are now your own boss, any chance of the Christmas quiz returning with Chamber in the chair? I'll ask the question, but it might be. I know the effort that went into his quizzes, it might be a bit short notice, but maybe for the future. Maybe we'll do an Easter one. I don't know. And CPB says, if Alonso wins a sprint, do we count that as a 33rd win? No, we do not. They don't count for anything. But I will wrap it up there. I'll let you guys go and have your evening. We're going to be live loads over the weekend, so if you have any other questions, save them for the sprint watch-along tomorrow and, of course, the quali watch-along. So, again, live tomorrow about 1:30 GMT for the sprint race watch-along, then live at 5:30 p.m. GMT for the qualifying watch-along, and then over on the F1 Word from 4:30 p.m, I think I said, for the race watch-along. So, lots to look forward to over the weekend. Nothing else to say. Likes and subs before you go will be greatly appreciated. But otherwise, we're going to leave it there. So, as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been Formula Sean. Got that bit right. And until tomorrow, goodbye.